Hello everyone! It's been a while since I've released a Suikoden video, too long if you ask me, but with the upcoming releases of both Suikoden 1 and 2 Remaster and Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes, what better time to release one than now? This video is going to be a countdown, ranking all of the mainline Suikoden titles from my least favourite to my favourite. And just remember, this is my list. I know many of you out there are going to have different opinions and I'd love to hear them, so let me know how you rank them in the comments below. Also, I'll only be ranking the 5 mainline Suikoden games. This means that those 2 awesome visual novels, Suikoden 1 and 2, as well as Suikoden Tactics, will not be included. Nor will Tierkreis or the Woven Web of a Century, which are set in entirely different worlds. Before we get into it, if you liked this video, make sure you hit that like button and sub for more Suikoden and jrpg content coming soon. Also, check out my other RPG series ranking videos. I've got one out for Breath of Fire, Star Ocean and Trails. Alright, let's get into it. In 5th place, we have Suikoden 4. This is widely considered to be the black sheep of the series as it changes things up in quite a few ways. Suikoden 4 takes place 150 years before the events of the first game, making it so distant from all other games in the series. As a result, the opportunity for previous characters to make a return is very small. In fact, there are only a few, and this is something that disappointed me big time. Another issue I had was with the combat system, which only allows you to take 4 characters into battle, down from 6 in all of the other games. With so many recruitable characters, this made absolutely no sense to me as it allows for way less experimentation with characters and party combinations. One of Suikoden 4's most unique features is the ship exploration, but this was unfortunately an absolute pain in the ass due to an excessive amount of random encounters. If there is ever a remaster of this game, this must be addressed. At least the war battles were quite fun, as these required you to manage your naval fleet in a grid-like environment. I also liked that the headquarters was on a massive ship, which worked very well in the context of the game. As far as the story goes, it wasn't that bad. There were quite a few good moments, even if most didn't reach the heights of the rest of the series. But at least its lore was just as strong as the other titles, as Suikoden 4 continued to build this amazing world that I had grown to love. And a special mention has to go to Jean. As expected, she makes an appearance as a rune sage, but this further adds to a mystery considering this game is set so far in the past. This is, however, the first time you could actually add her to your party in battle, which was awesome. I still really want to know what her deal is. What do you think? Leave a message in the comments. At number 4, we are going back to where it all started, Suikoden 1. This is the game that introduced most of the core mechanics that makes this series so amazing. Headquarters, True Runes, 108 Stars of Destiny, duels, wars, 6-person parties, unite attacks. You name it, Suikoden got it. Suikoden 1 is centered around the political struggles of the Scarlet Moon Empire. You play the role of a high-ranking general's son, Termic Doll, who soon encounters the Soul Eater rune, which will change his fate and the fate of the Empire forever. This story has some great moments, and it also introduces some of the most iconic characters in the entire series. When you think Suikoden, you think Flick, Victor, Vicky, Jean, Luck, Peshmerga, they are all here. While Suikoden 1 can be appreciated for laying the groundwork for what would turn into one of the best gaming series of all time, it did have a few flaws, mainly in its lack of quality of life features. Some of these problems include the lack of spell descriptions, the inventory system, and the limitations to the runes you can equip. I mean, you need to take up a single character's rune slot just to be able to run. Still, Suikoden 1 set the foundation for what was to come, and it is a significant reason as to why I love Suikoden 2 so much. This one is so hard for me since my position 3 and 2 constantly change, but today I'm going to go with Suikoden 5 in 3rd place. This title was very well received by fans and was widely considered to be a return to form after a disappointing Suikoden 4. Despite this, it had very poor sales and was the final game in the mainline Suikoden series. Now, Suikoden 5 has a lot going for it and tells an unforgettable tale that feels exactly like a Suikoden game should. After a very slow start, which feels like a 10-hour long tutorial, the story really picks up and does not slow down. This game is set in the Queendom of Falena several years before the first game. The story centers around a civil war between the Queendom and multiple powerful government factions. Being set so close to the other Suikoden games allows for loads of previously introduced characters to play a role in their younger forms. Most notably is, of course, George Prime, who plays a huge role as a Queen's Knight and kicks more ass than I ever expected. See, this is exactly why this series is so amazing. Characters like George may play such a minor role in one Suikoden game, but then later really get their chance to shine in another title. Some welcomed new additions here include a real-time war system, which I felt was a great evolution to Suikoden's large-scale wars. It was also great to see a return of 6 party members with formations. This time, these formations can be customized, such as having a single tank character in the front row and multiple characters in the back row. While this was a great idea and a logical step forward, I did feel that it was way too easy to abuse, making the combat an absolute breeze. But still, Suikoden 5 is an excellent all-around experience and is a great example of why Suikoden is such an amazing series. At number 2, we have Suikoden 3, the first of the series released on the PlayStation 2. Now, I know that many of you out there won't rate this game so highly, but there is so much about Suikoden 3 that I love. The game is set after the events of Suikoden 2, west of Dunan in the Grassland and Zexen regions. This story is both loved and hated by fans, and this division is due to the Trinity Sight system, which allows you to play the story from different points of view. First, we have Chris Lightfellow, the acting captain of the Zexen Knights. She is known as the Silver Maiden due to her beautiful looks and deadly skills with the blade. Next, we have Godot, the veteran leader of the Harmonian Southern Frontier Defense Force's 12th unit. He's got a quiet personality with many mysteries about him, yet his colleagues trust him deeply. Finally, we have the young, energetic Hugo, who is the only child of the Karayan clan chief Lucia. He is usually seen with his close friend Fubar, who is a griffin that Hugo can ride into battle. Then there's Thomas, who is a Thomas. For the first time, these main characters have full personalities and dialogue, and I love switching between them all, seeing how their paths cross and watching how they all get caught up in the war. As with every game, there are some outstanding characters here too. Some of my favourites in the series play a large role in this story, such as Luck, Uber, and Nash. You also get to play the game from the antagonist's point of view once you've completed the game, and this was such a great addition to the story. Another reason why this narrative structure worked so well is that it allowed you to experiment with way more characters than a single main character's path would have allowed. While the combat may have been a little different in that the characters needed to pair up with each other, and while the stupid wall was never ever fixed, Suikoden 3 still does more than enough to take my number 2 spot. Alright, I know you could have guessed this one before you even clicked on this video. At number 1, we have Suikoden 2, which also goes down as one of my favourite RPGs of all time. I also know that most of you out there also consider this one as the best in the series, and it is so easy to see why. You play the role of Rue, a member of the Highland Army Youth Brigade. After the Highland Army orchestrates the slaughter of their own youth brigade, blaming it on the city-states, Rue and his friend Joey escape with their lives by jumping from a cliff into the river. This is the start of an epic tale that sees Rue eventually leading an army against the Highland forces. I don't think I've ever played a game in my life with so many impactful, emotional, memorable moments. From the very start of the game when Rue and Joey make their promise through marking a rock up until the very end of the game where I'm not going to spoil it, but if you've seen the good ending, you'll understand how huge it is. Suikoden 2 is the perfect example of how video games can be such a powerful medium. Then there's the characters. Wowee, what an incredibly massive cast of quality, lovable, memorable characters. Can you possibly get two cooler characters than Flick and Victor? The answer is no. The antagonists are also top tier. Luca freaking Blight, for instance, is evil personified, and taking him down is one of the best boss fights of all time. I also have to mention the soundtrack. Miki Higashino may not have the largest gaming resume, but her work here is outstanding. The OST is a masterpiece and complements the game perfectly. Fortunately, the game mechanics are pretty damn good too. The combat has seen a significant upgrade from the original, mainly due to each character being able to equip multiple runes. The headquarters is also my favourite in the series, and watching it gradually upgrade and fill with recruited characters and activities was a real treat. Speaking of activities, it also has the cooking contest, which is one of the best RPG mini-games ever. It is such a shame we didn't get this in future games. However, it does seem like we'll be getting it back in Eiyuden Chronicle. Suikoden 2 is a masterpiece of a video game in just about every single way. I really don't think that I'd be surprising too many people that it takes out my #1 spot. If you don't like this game, I'm sorry, I don't think we can be best friends anymore. And there we have it, my top 5 Suikoden games ranked. And by top 5, I mean the only 5, which is an absolute crime. On the plus side, at least we all have something to look forward to. The HD remasters are just around the corner, and Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes is set for release later this year, so it's a good time to be a Suikoden fan. How would you rank the Suikoden series? Let me know in the comments below. Also, feel free to check out some of my other Suikoden videos. There are loads there, including an analysis on true runes and fact videos that explores everything you don't know about this amazing series. This was Hellfire RPGs, thanks for watching. If you liked this video, it would help me out a lot to hit that like button and sub for more RPG and Suikoden content coming soon. See you next time.